Okay, so I want to take the time to talk about something that I've been kind of like hesitant about speaking of or talk about like in the past couple of months or so, and it's the release of a game that I've been playing for over 15 years, or not the release, but the the release of the second part of Ion 2. Been playing Ion on and off for over 15 years. um, the official version of the game, some private servers here and there because the game actually went to shit after like 6.0 or 5.0 approximately. Um, and then after that, a lot of people just either decided to stick with the game on the retail server, which I did up until like 7 point something, and then I decided that it was just like it's enough for me. It's very irrelevant, and why the game is gonna catastrophically, whatever. Why the game is gonna the game is gonna fucking tank right from the get go. I'm telling you this right up front. And I know that some people are gonna tell me, "Oh well, you're just hating on the game or whatever," right? But no, I'm not just like hating on the game. There are particular reasons as to why I'm saying all of this. Um, if you've played an NCSoft game before, you know exactly where this is leading to. Um, and I know exactly like what's gonna come next, what's gonna happen. Um, there's a huge plethora of things that I can go about, but the main reason or the main reasons and key points that I would like to maybe discuss about actually, let's go ahead and do this. Let's open up a notepad. Let's just go ahead and um, open up a notepad and let's just go ahead and we talk about this a little bit more in detail. So let's just start by the fact that number one, um, let me go ahead and make this like much bigger. Ion 2. Okay. Pros. The game looks great. Graphics look great. Sorry for any typos or so. I'm just like typing this out of my ass. I'm not really making any scripts about it. Uh, I'm just speaking as a customer of a game that has been up and running for over 15 years, or at least for a franchise, which is going to be like Ion specifically, not Ion 2, but Ion specifically, who has been up and running for over 15 years, right? Um, and I can tell you right from the get go, again, this game is just going to tank. It's not going to be the what you all expect it to be, and I know that the vast majority of people are going to be very disappointed when the game comes out. Very disappointed. Not because of the founder packs, because I don't mind the founder packs. They don't provide anything great, to be honest with you. I was watching them, and pretty much the only thing that they provide is just like cosmetics and like a 5 day advantage. Um, and I know that some people are gonna tell like, oh well, it's because you have a 5 day advantage. Listen, in the MMORPG community or the MMORPG genre, 5 days is nothing. What you gonna get? Like you're gonna get like a billion, like a million more gold in the game. Is that what you're gonna? You're gonna be like level 60, and I'm gonna be level 40 when I come out. When I'm like free to play, and you're not, and you're paying for this passing whatever. It's just ridiculous, man. I paid for like this kind of stuff before, and I have not paid for this kind of stuff before. And let me tell you something: the only people who paid for those kind of stuff is for the cosmetics, and people don't really pay that much attention to it, and it's not gonna be making a lot difference, or it's not gonna be making a big difference in the game or the way that you progress in the game, right, and whatnot. But graphically speaking, the game looks amazing. Um, the graphics, they look very similar to Throne and Liberty, which in honestly, I think that Throne and Liberty looks like much better, to be honest with you. But I mean, that's just my take. That's just my opinion. I understand that if people want to say like, no, it looks like something different, or it doesn't look like better than Ion 2, it's up to them. That's just my subjective opinion on what the things that I can see and cannot see at the moment, right? I haven't played a
No!
game
If you go
that,
to the authorities, you will be
let's say
hurt!
so, seriously since the release of the Taiwan server.
Please!
I
Yes,
played it for
that's
like
what
a
I have
couple of
recorded.
days,
You know
and
how
that's when I made my
effective the chief's
decision that this
medicine
game
is.
was just
Oh
not
my.
for me at
Oh well,
all.
he right.
Like, I remember when I started playing Ion 1 back in 2010. Um, I saw this, I saw this trailer. When was it? Let me look it up just real quick. I know that I'm probably taking a lot of time. I'm talking a lot of shit right now, but listen, this is just the kind of topics that I like to discuss about because I've been passionate about this game for many years. I was 17, dude. 17. I'm 33 right now. You understand? I lived through a big portion of a line of my life hooked to this game, completely hooked to this game. I even have like a slight video on my YouTube channel where I where I even talk about like, or not even talk about when I actually participated in a siege event with a few Legion mates um, back in 2022. I play Ranger, as you can see, and this was my guild. This was in a private server. This was not like in the official server. At this time, at this point, I pretty much quit the game already in the official servers, and I've been jumping. I've been jumping around private servers like this ones, which already closed. Um, the only one that it's technically speaking like relevant or it still provides a good, you know, service to some extent, it would be Euro Ion. But the ping is too high, so I don't even want to try that one because it would be like playing with 200 pin, and I'm not a huge fan of playing with 200 pin to be honest with you, especially with Ranger when you need like at least a decent amount of ping, maybe like 80 at the most. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I remember watching this video. This was the trailer that made me want to jump into the game. It even has a like on it already from me. This was the trailer that made me jump into the fucking game back in 2010. I used to play another game called Steel, which is like a shooter. Um, and the people from my high school they showed me this game. It's called Steel. Steel was like a shooter mech game. Came out like in what, maybe 2007, I think it was something like that. The game was very cool for what it offered. It was like a shooter game. Think about Mecha Break or Armor Core, something like that. Same style. You have deathmatch, you have capture the flag, you have all those PvP modes. Um, they were very popular in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, right? 2010s, and then the game shut down. There's a whole explanation about why the game shut down, which I talked about in another video. But when the game shut down, um, my friends told me, "Oh well, we don't have anything else to play. We're probably gonna be playing like Ion because NCSoft to the people that because of the people who because of it's still shutting down. NCSoft gave out for free the vast majority of people like 2 months of Ion for free, which at the time Ion had like already Ion had already like released for like over a year already. I think it was because it still shut down in like September 10th of 2020, 2010. I think it was like around that time. And I'm like, yeah, here it is, September 1st, 2010. That's when it shut down. I thought that it was actually September 10th, but it was September 1st. And then a couple of days after that, my friends told me let's just go ahead and jump into this game, and I was kind of hesitant because I didn't like MMORPGs at the time. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. And at the time, I was actually very focused on playing StarCraft 2 because StarCraft 2 came out like in June of that same year. Um, so I was playing StarCraft, not really doing much with my life, just being a teenager. At that time, I was like going through my senior year on high school, not doing much about it. And I remember that my cousin is like 10 years older than me at the time, but he was like a very avid enjoyer of MMORPGs, especially World of Warcraft. And he told me about this game. And we were talking about like video games, and he told me, he told me like, hey dude, listen, there's this one game that you want to try it out. I want to try it out, but I don't know when if it's already out or not. So I really want to play. And I remember that he showed me this trailer, and I was immediately hooked. Immediately. I've never seen anything like it before. It was totally different in World of Warcraft. The the armors they look great. The the trailer looked fantastic. The cooking professions, the alchemy professions, weaponsmithing, tailoring, everything looked like pretty much great. And the thing that and the thing is that what completely sold me, it was not just the class, which when I saw Ranger doing this skill, Arrow Strike or Arrow Storm, I'm sorry, that's one of the things that completely took me off guard because I've never seen like animations like this at the time in an MMORPG that looked like this great. Again, we're talking that this game came out in like 2009, 2010. So compared to what we have today, obviously it's going to be completely different, right? 16 years apart, 17 years apart. Um, and I was completely hooked watching the video. It was like, oh my god, what is this? I want to try it out. But I wasn't. I was just watching the video completely static you know of what the game was offering, and then I remembered that I saw like a siege and the people doing PvP, and I was like, oh, so this game is like PvP focused. And he told me like, yes, it is PvP focused, just like World of Warcraft. And I was just like, yep, I'm hooked. But the sad reality is that the game was like pay to play at the time, so I didn't have any money. It's not very common out here in my country to for teenagers to have like a job. You typically get a job like after you're like 19 or 18, somewhat around those lines. So it wasn't really common for me. So I decided to just look up a private server and started playing from there, right? But my point is that even though that the game graphically speaking, Aion 2, and again we're going back to Aion 2, looks amazing. It looks nothing similar to Aion 1. Like nothing similar. And that's one of the things that I just don't like, to be honest with you. I know that there's like the audio cues and the skills, they kind of like sound the same. I believe that they actually sound the same. But what do you call this? Um, the UI is just fucking awful. The UI, I cannot stand the Unreal Engine 5 UI that every MMORPG has now. They all look like mobile phones. The only game that looks like a mobile phone that I still tolerate is Lost Ark, and I like it because of its compact. Um, it's very fluid, very entertaining, and so on. And I've been playing it for a couple of years already. But Ion 2 is just it feels like a clusterfuck. It's too much happening at the same time. The characters they move like when they PvP or when you attack, like the characters they look like they're fucking on cocaine or something. Um, and, and I don't know. Graphically speaking, even though that it looks again fantastic and amazing, It's just like something that I don't want to play at all. It doesn't look appealing to me. It doesn't feel like home. It doesn't feel like a game. It doesn't feel like Ion. The music might be there, the audio cues and skills might be there, whatever, right? But the UI looks completely different than what I remember. And for those of you who might be thinking like, okay, but you need to give me an example of what are you talking about? Like, I don't get it. Like, this is what the Ion 1 UI looks like. Okay, this is what the UI of Ion 1 looks like. Very clean, very, it's not really invasive towards you. It's not really showing too much, right? It's just showing as little as it possibly can. You got your skills, you got your buffs, your scrolls, your traps right here, your map. Maybe one of the things that to mark your targets like 1, 2, and 3 and 5 and whatever, right? And then you got your buffs on the left upper corner to see what you're using at the moment, your target, your target's target, your chat, and that's it. And that's it. It looks clean, and that's one of the things that I don't like about Ion 2. When you look at Ion 2 UI, it's just fucking awful, man. I'm sorry, but whoever said that this looks great, I'm sorry, man. It looks like another fucking mobile game to me. Like when you see it, when you see this shit, when you see this and you compare it to the other UI, it looks like a mobile game. The icons, they all look flashy, and they have like this sparks and whatnot, and I'm just like, come on, dude. And whoever has the disgrace of watching this video, I'm sorry if I'm yapping too much. Like, I don't give two fucks about it, to be honest with you. If you don't like it, um, uh, but it's just like, come on, dude. I even remember this video. This was like a concept video that NCSoft came up with about the stuff that they wanted to make with Ion 1. This came out like 16 years ago, as you can see, back in 2009. And they completely went off tracks because they knew that at the time, the the capacity or the graphic engine that they were using wouldn't allow them to do the things that they did now with Ion 2. Like, for example, this concept of like swimming underwater and like having like instances and like cities and major hubs underwater, that was like a Ion 1 stuff that never happened. Like completely, never happened. And a bunch of other stuff that I can actually show you guys. For example, these giant things, probably we're not going to see them on Ion 2, but this was supposed to be like an Ion 1 thing that never happened too. We were supposed to be able to like summon or to fight these guys, which were like giant, I don't know, like golems or creatures or whatever. You can see them dead in the abyss in the game. You can see them actually, but fighting against them, no, it's impossible, pretty much. But anyway, um, I don't know, man. The monetization of the game is not really what concerns me the most at the moment, because this is exactly how Ion 1 started. A subscription model, no pay to win, no transactions, no microtransactions, whatever, and then eventually transition into something more delicate. Um, Another thing that I notice about like the pros and so on is that the game is very responsive, so you don't have to be like, it's not like that clunky of a game. It's very responsive. Um, the ambience of the game looks amazing. The biomes, they look amazing too. The mobs as well. Character creation is just like top notch. top notch. It was the same on Ion 1, and I fucking knew that it was going to be the same on Ion 2 as well. I knew that the character creation it was going to be like a major selling point of the game, and I wasn't wrong about it. Now let's go with the cons. The cons about this game, I already talked about it. I don't even have to go through like what the cons. I mean, if they if they this is just my liking again. This you don't have to agree with everything that I'm saying. But if they decided to completely change the UI of the game, I would play it. I'll probably play it like 100%, no questions asked. I'll probably praise the game as much as I could, but the UI is just awful, at least in my opinion. And that's just one of the things that I just don't like it. Um, the game speed feels too fast to some extent when you PvP. Like for example, this guy, um, Tanker King. He's a Korean YouTuber that I've been following for some time in Ion 2. And when he PvPs, and let me show you guys real quick, maybe in one of his videos, so we can maybe take a look into this more carefully and more in detail. Uh, what is this guy talking about? Make sure to check out the Ion 2 issues. Okay, so okay, so oh my god, this is a guy who talks about and plays the game like very frequently. Ion 1 and Ion 2. There's some other two or maybe three Korean YouTubers that I follow when it comes to like Ion, um, who've been playing this game again right from the get go. So I don't like this. Like I don't like the fact that you open up the UI. Like for example, nothing about the UI looks appealing. You see this how the icons they look awful. The inventory looks fucking garbage to me. It's just I'm sorry, but no, 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 like fucking no. Compare this to this. It's day and night. Maybe I'm just too old school. Maybe I'm seeing this with a different lens. Maybe I'm seeing this with a different eye. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not used to it. Maybe I'm just too old. I was there 5,000 years ago type of speech. I don't know, but it looks awful to me. And then on top of all of that, when he PvPs, when he goes and actually engages in combat, it it looks weird, man. Let me just show you. Like, it looks fucking weird. It looks like everything is going like a super fast. Like you don't even know what the fuck is going on. Like too many stuff. Like what is up with this? Like look. Like let's just go ahead and take a look into this frame or a scenario as much as we possibly can. Look at all of this. He's fighting against I'm guessing an assassin. I think it is an assassin, maybe. Okay, so there's like a bunch of numbers going on all at once, and you got your debuffs right here. You got your buffs also, and you don't like. It's a whole clusterfuck. You don't know what the fuck is going on, and I don't like that. I understand that Ion One, Ion. And just to give you guys an example of this, look how different this looks on his back when this was like Ion One. I want you guys to look at this and tell me how different this looks. You guys already saw it, and again, let's just go ahead and watch this so you guys can have a visual representation of what I'm saying, right? Look, it just what is happening down here? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, it feels like a mobile game. It feels like a mobile game. It plays like a mobile game. I'm sorry. Even though that I try as much as I can to let go and to make myself much easier to make myself much more understanding that the game is different, the more I realize that the game is just not just not for me, but it looks and feels completely different than what I remember. This is Ion Classic, by the way, what I'm about to show you. Okay? Which is not even like the real Ion to some extent. It's just like Ion Classic, like World of Warcraft Classic, right? Like everything classic that is coming out right now is exactly the same. But as you can see, the PvP looks different. It doesn't have this clusterfuck that it used to have. For those who might not be familiar, of course, this is just going to be like your skill bars right here, which he accommodated, and you can accommodate the best that you feel that you wanted to. But as you can see, everything looks very well organized. Here's your buffs right here in the left upper corner. This is the target. Here's the target's target, which is you. This is the buffs that the opponent is using, and as you can see here, they're fighting, right? Um, it looks clean. It doesn't look like it's getting like a bunch of like letters and numbers everywhere. Of course, there's damage. There's people fighting. Obviously, there's going to be some numbers here and there, and maybe, but you see, it looks different. It looks completely different. I know that there's going to be like these banners out here because this is just like his like chat. They streaming at Fredcat TV, and these are like these sponsors and the quests that he has. But it's just it looks different, man. You cannot tell me that people are excited about this. That the real Ion players, that the ones that I know that are real Ion players are excited about this because I'm sorry, it's just not possible for me. It's not possible for me to get excited about a game that completely cocked and completely butchered what the game actually was and represented at some point. I'm sorry, but no. Um, there are many other things that I want to talk about this game in other games that I played before. Um, but I know for sure that Ion 2 is not gonna cut it. Ion 2 is not even gonna cut it. And also the reason as to why I'm saying all of this is because this is a list of games that are mostly played in Korean PC banks in South Korea. Something that I have noticed about MMORPGs, whether if it's Korean or any other MMORPGs, is that if you make it in the top 10 list of or top like 15, let's say, so Korean MMORPG list of most play games so on PC banks in Korea, is because to some extent you have some kind of a gacha mechanic where you're fully pay to win. I'm talking about the ones that are pay to win, not like League of Legends, not like Valorant. But for example, let's just go ahead and take a look into this. Um, FIFA Online, completely pay to win. Maple Story, come on, I don't even have to say it. Lineage, this is Lineage Classic, which is the newest version that they just came out, which is still pay to win, by the way. Then we got Lost Ark, which is a game that I play, and I know it's pay to win. Ion 2, Maple World, Dungeon Fighter Online, and the list goes on. What I'm trying to say here is that the games that are typically considered to be like very good and the vast majority of games that are played on PC Bank that are MMORPGs that really are played in South Korea are pay to win. And the pay to win games typically when they come to the West, they just completely fumble. Maple Story fumble, and yes, I know that it has some population obviously out here in North America, but it's a different story for a different topic. And even though it has a population, it's a very small population. Lineage 2 population, it's pretty much based upon just private servers and very small private servers, or 300 or maybe 400 people at the most. Lost Ark, it's suffering too. 7,000, 8,000 people, maybe 10,000 on a good day. Um, Ion 2 has not been released yet. A Meeple World, same principle. Dungeon Fighter Online, I play this game too. It's right here. DFO, there you go. I play this game pretty much every day. So all of these games are very popular, and a lot of people engage with them in South Korea, but not in the West because they're very PV. They're not. They're PVE PvP oriented, but they're very pay to win. On the other hand, the ones that are the games that are typically considered like very popular in the West, they're not very popular in Korea or Asian countries. Diablo 4, Diablo 2, um, Black Desert Online. Even though that this is a South Korean game, you can see that the vast majority of blocks and things that they do are they cater more to the Western base than the Eastern player base. That's what I have noticed, at least. I could be completely wrong off, on what I'm saying. Probably I am. Who fucking knows? But but yeah, that's just one of the things that I wanted to point out about the game and what I believe it's going to happen. Again, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully the developers of the game are just gonna realize about a couple of things here and there. But we're talking about NCSoft. NCSoft is not gonna do jack shit, even if they tell them to do it. Um, Even if you tell NCSoft like here's a billion won, here's $1 billion in cash, take it if you fix it this. NCSoft is just gonna be like, you know what? I don't think that's the best approach. Let me just go ahead and suck my boss dick first, and we'll see what happens. Okay? And that's how they lose all the populations. That's how they lose like the population on every single fucking game and every single fucking MMORPG that they have made. They did it with Ion, they did it with Lineage, they did it with Wheel Guild Wars, Lineage 2, City of Heroes, Steel, right? Blade and Soul. They did it with Blade and Soul Neo, Ion Classic, Lineage 2 Classic. They've done it with all of those. It's just incredible. Like how can you mess up so bad so many times and not learn? And I just don't blame the the corporate side of NCSoft. I blame the developers too because they're the ones who make these kind of decisions. Like this kind of artistic decisions about making the UI and making the game look like this, it comes from the developer team. It doesn't come from the fucking, you know, white collar motherfuckers who sit in a table and talk about how much money they're going to be getting for their new yacht. No, 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 they're not going to. The clearest example of this is like Throne and Liberty. I know that the game received like a lot of hate. Honestly, I believe it's a great game. I really like it because the game, even though that it's an UE5, I'm sorry, Unreal Engine 5 game, it was unique because it was the first NCSoft game that looked like that, right? The problem is that when you come up with another game that looks exactly like that, but instead of being called Throne and Liberty, you put a stamp on it and you say, hey, this is Ion 2. I don't know, man. Let's just leave it like that, like this at the moment. Otherwise, this video is going to be like 2 hours long. I just wanted to rant a little bit. Hopefully, in the future, I'm going to talk about more about some other stuff. There's a bunch of things that I want to talk about. Again, um, if you guys want to talk about the video, if you guys want to, I'm sorry, if you guys want to play the video game, be my guest, play it, enjoy it, have fun. I'll probably try it. Probably, I don't know. Um, but we'll see what happens. Um, anyway, that's it for today. See you guys.